Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about anti-space. I'm not going to use any diagrams or pictures. The whole idea of anti-space is it's not a place. So, like, if you have a place down, say, random place in the universe, Cork in Ireland. There's a place called Cork. I know what you're thinking. That's where Cork comes from. No, Cork mostly comes from Spain, but the county Cork in Ireland is a place in Ireland. And an anti-space would be a place that you couldn't occupy, so a place that you couldn't be in. It would still have its own properties of a place, but things couldn't be in it. It wouldn't be. It couldn't act like a place, as in it couldn't act like something that you could travel to or something you could be in. So that would be an anti place or an anti, yeah, it would be an anti place or an anti space. Um, or your auntie's jambalaya that you like to eat when you go visit her house. Sorry, that's just a really bad joke. There's this stuff called gumbo in America, and I think it's a type of chili or something like that. But I always thought it was the sweets, like a not a savory soup, but a sweet soup. So soup that was sweet and like red and sweet, and you could just eat tons of it. Sort of like a sweet soup, but it wouldn't rot your teeth. But it would taste very gumbo-y. So that was the stuff in stuff I thought gumbo should, like, by the name of the name gumbo, it should taste like that. It should be like a sweet soup, a red sweet soup, in my opinion. But anyway, anti-space. The reason I bring up anti-space is because if we have a multiverse, there's things blocking us from being in traveling to the other dimensions. Dimensions is kind of the wrong word. The other spaces, the other universes, and anti-space, I thought, would be that sort of thing. Would be that it would block block people from traveling between universes. So it'd be like barriers. Maybe it's like a wave, and we sit in the wave of space, and then it goes up into anti-space, and then there's a wave of space, and you can't get from there to there, and the anti-space blocks you from traveling from there to there, and not even teleportation could teleport around it because the anti-space blocking works by blocking anything that's on that side in any possible way of getting to the other side. So that's pretty much anti-space in a nutshell. It's it's tiresome to think about. No, I'm coding. But if you want to get through the excuse me, if you want to get through the barriers between universes, if there is other universes, anti-space might be the thing that's stopping people getting from point A to point B. Um, what else are we thinking of? Excuse me. So that's everything on anti-space that I wanted to say in this video. I'm just going to blog for a bit after this because I'm a bit tired. Today's to-do list. So what's that? So that's my today's to-do list. I write them on the little cards and I just keep them around. Today's to-do list is clean room. You can see it's a bit of a mess. Clean room. Battenberg. I'm going to make. I'm going to try make a Battenberg with my dad. And my dad really likes Battenberg cakes. I'm going to try it. We're going to try make our own Battenberg cake. And then I have an invention I'm going to make. I'm going to bring it up in another video. It's to do with photography. So it's a photography invention. So if it works, I'll show it in the next video, or not next video, but in one of the videos. Yeah, so that's my day plan for today. It's not very hectic. I'm quite a bit tired. Last night was I keep calling it the millennium, the New Year's celebration. I slept through the last 3 or 4 New Year's before this one, and um, this one was nice as we just all went up to the attic and watched fireworks go off around the town, which was, it was quite a nice. It was a nice ending for the evening. I'm going to try to get a fireworks license. I want to make fireworks, so I'm still in my college, and I want to get a license that allows me to make my own custom fireworks as part of that. So that's one of the things I want to mess around with. I had this idea for I have my own idea for a kind of a firework that might look really good, or several that might look really good. But I'd really like to get into making homemade fireworks. Um, so I'd need a lot of the materials that would make that. What else? Yeah, there's um, yeah, the homemade fireworks would be a thing that I think would be really sweet to do. Um, Today, other than that, I'm going to try get my screen. So I'm going to get a glass pane here that I can draw on in front of you. So I've also bought a microphone so I can put it. I think I mentioned that in the other video. I'll blog for 15 minutes on this one. My book is coming on. My book, I've had to break it. My first book that I've written, it took me 2 years to write it. It's longer than the first 4 Harry Potter books combined. That's 1.5 times as long as the Lord of the Rings. Um, the reason I was able to do, I used to think, oh, I'm a hard worker. I'm a hard worker. I used to get up at 7 every day to do it and work till I had 5,000 pages done a day, and that's how I got it done. But the other thing was, and this was the other thing that I finally admitted to myself, and this is what helped me get the book edited fully, because I was getting slower and slower at editing, trying to hard work it out of the way. I finally admitted to myself that I enjoyed doing the book. And that was the real reason. Well, not the real reason, but that was one of the main reasons I managed to actually get the book written, that big a book written, because I just loved doing it. Like I have pages and pages of notes and things like that just for the next books and stories. So if you want to do something a lot and do something good, enjoy what you're doing. Okay, don't go out and go, I have to do this. I have to suffer to get this done. It's a very bad plan to include suffering into your workload or into your paradigm. You try to get something you enjoy doing for your work. That's the one bit of advice that I've all true successful people that don't brag about being great usually say, and that is enjoy what you're doing. Um, I have a few other little books, a book about that coming out, and a book about the talk for men. Um, Growing up being a man and having to deal with male sexuality, my own male sexuality, it's been kind of it's been a war basically. You're kind of at war with your own body's desires, and I want to bring out a book called The Talk for Men because I think it would give men a perspective on themselves, and it also give men the ability to be gentlemen. I think there should be gentleman classes in schools, how to be a gentleman, how to be a grown man. A grown man is a gentleman. This alpha beta crap. It's funny. It's like you give someone a dirty word. I remember the safe spaces. They had safe spaces in these schools, and the world just went nuts. You shouldn't want safe spaces. You should be challenged. You should be this. You should be that. You should be that. You should take the hard road because you need to be tough and all this crap about safe spaces. I was thinking, it's like, you don't even know what a safe space is. You've just assumed, because there's the word safe in it, that these people are accepting their weakness. Accepting your weaknesses, first of all, is a very good thing. It's a very healthy thing for a person to do. But the other thing is that if they had called it chill space, which is basically the same describer, but it describes it without having the dirty word of safety in it, everyone would have loved the idea. Because all a safe space is you sit in your room, sit in a room with a bunch of people, and you say whatever you want, and no one contradicts you. So it's just like speaking your mind out loud without other people attacking you. You can attack people with words much more deeply than you can attack people with fists. And in a safe space, that's what you do. Because some of us believe really crazy stuff. I believe really crazy stuff. Um, I believe that, like, sometimes I get voices in my head. You can call me schizophrenic or whatever. That's your prerogative. I don't believe I'm schizophrenic. I believe the voices in my head are different things around me, my instincts, my own brain telling me things. I also like to believe that the woman, my one true love, is also a voice in my head. So you can call me crazy if you want, but they're my beliefs. And if I said that in a safe space, no one would go, oh, you're stupid, you're arguing, you're not dealing with reality. And that's what you're kind of in a safe space. If they called it a chill space, everyone could say their own weird little beliefs without coming to harm of being like, oh, you're a negative person, you're a negative this, you're negative that. And that's what a safe space was, is that, like, now that I've said that, I feel being online, I feel like, excuse me, I feel like I have to defend myself for saying that. I have to say, it's like, my religion is Shinto. I'm a Shintoist. I talk to everything that I can in my head. Like, I would talk to my bed, I talk to my inventions, I talk to my college. Um, it's my religion, but because I said those things before, and in a safe space, you would feel like, okay, I can say those things and people won't judge me for them or say I'm wrong. It's great. The whole I watch a lot of atheist versus Christian debates, and in truth, there isn't that many debates other than those online. Like, there's no other topic other than atheism versus Christianism that really kind of has a dedicated group of people arguing about it. The problem with what's it called? It's like all the other debates. The science debates don't tend to be debates because they tend to be just a couple of scientists hanging around chatting about a really cool idea that they think is cool, and then them all trying to show how smart they are. But the atheist versus Christian debates are real dogged little arguments. They're really hard arguments, and some of them are real spicy. There's this one arguer called Dart Dawkins. I don't know much about him, but he is a twisty motherfucker. If you ever see him argue, he is like, he's like he's the most twisty. I mean that in a good way, as in that he's like tough. He's one of the toughest arguers you'll ever find. And watching him go, he's a Christian. He's a Christian apologetic. Watching him go off on anyone is crazy. Sometimes though, his method is basically he's just a rude bastard, and he's just horrifically rude to the people he's arguing with. And then in those cases, yeah, it's fuck off. And then there's when he's arguing though, the big thing is that he's very like Matt Dillahunty. Matt Dillahunty's another twisty bastard. When you argue with him, he twists and twists out of those traps that you get them in like crazy. They're very alike. Both Dart Dawkins and Matt Dillahunty are seriously alike. But the one problem is they make themselves look good too. So they both sit in their argument rooms. Your man has a radio show, Matt Dillahunty, and your man has his own sort of I think it's called a Discord room or something like that. Dart Dawkins, and they can mute their opponent, and it just totally makes them look amazing. Like it makes them look like the greatest arguers on the planet. It's very like they're both very good arguers, but with that little cheat, they're like nuclear. They just can't be beat. And I think that's one of the main problems with they need to create a debate forum. I was going to create a website called Pass the Purple, which was when you're done talking, you press a button, and then the other person's allowed to talk, but you're not. What if you press it again? It won't let you talk again. The other person has to then has to press the purple button for the microphone to go back over to the other. So was going to call it Pass the Purple. It's a plan I have for creating a website in the future. If you have no ideas of creating, feel free to steal or yeah, feel free to steal the idea if you want to have a go at that debating form, the Pass the Purple. So basically, the idea is the person makes the argument, presses the Pass the Purple button, and then they can't be heard anymore and they can't argue anymore. And then they can only argue. The other person then starts arguing, makes their arguments, and when their argument's finished, they can press Pass the Purple, and then it goes back over to the other person. And so it means it's enforced respect of not talking over the other person. So that's what Pass the Purple debating forums would have been look good. Maybe modern day debates could do a version of that or something. There's another one I wanted to do, which was argue against yourself. So everyone in these debates that you see online goes into the argument. They go into the argument on their side. Matt Dillahunty goes on atheism. Dart Dawkins goes on Christianity. What else is there? They all go on their side, but they don't do the classical debate thing, which is to sometimes have to argue against yourself. So that was another argument form I wanted to create, which was called Against Yourself. So whatever side you liked the best, you had to argue on the other side, which was you had to argue the debate on the side that you didn't believe in or the side you didn't want to be true. And I thought that would be another debate forum. What else? What else? What else? The inventor invents and the world turns is what I used to say about myself. Today, I think I'm going to get stuff done. I'm going to get the room cleaned. I'm going to start with that. I have to. I have a lot of work on my room. I usually keep it quite neat, but I've been letting it go for the past month or two, just because. Just sometimes that happens in life. Like you don't always clean your room. Like sometimes in life, it's a little bit messy for a while. Like you don't. I would like to get a decent morning routine. The problem is because I'm on sleeping tablets. When I wake up, they basically describe it the same pain as a hangover. But because I'm on sleeping tablets, I get it every morning when I wake up. So my morning routine usually gets really crapped on. It's rarely my morning routine's rarely a good thing. So I usually get it going, but then it feels really stressful. So I stop for a while. So that's something I'm going to have to probably work on is that cleaning the room. Yeah, it needs to get done, and yeah, it just needs to get done. It's one of those things that needs to get done. So yeah, my hair can do no wrong. That's what I have the coolest hair ever. um, hmm. What else was it? Oh yeah, I think I said this before. Robert Patterson for the next James Bond. If that hasn't already been said, Robert Patterson for the next James Bond. Robert Patterson for the next James Bond, and make it a cool cruise. So make James Bond as cool as hell, and make the whole thing as the whole shit video a cruise. The whole thing about the old Bonds, they were a stylish cruise through cool ideas and beautiful countryside, and they had that presence about them there, that sort of that je ne sais quoi, that coolness. It was really just coolness, and serene. They had serene surroundings and really fun storylines that didn't take themselves too seriously. So yeah, if they change Bond, Robert Patterson is my Bond. Um, what else is there? New Salamander from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them would make a good Doctor Who. That's probably because he reminds me of Matt Smith. Matt Smith is my favorite Doctor. He's 11 is just he's incredible. The only problem I had with 11's generation was Rory. Rory. I'm gonna have a moan in the corner. Rory. Rory should not have been added to that series, nor should what's her name? Karen Gillan's character. Can't remember Karen Gillan's character name. I'll just quickly Google it. Um, um, uh, Karen Gillan's character. Amy Pond, that was it. Amy Pond should have ended up with that Doctor. They should have done like the hand split thing. I'll tell you a funny theory I have about the hand split thing, but they should have done the hand split thing and made Amy Pond differently, done it differently, of course. But they should have had Amy Pond end up with the Doctor. The two actors, just their natural romance between the two actors was just so strong. And to add those other two characters, it was just like, don't do that. Just put Amy Pond and the Doctor together. They suit each other. They're very alike. They're both quirky. I think that was the major problem. Is that was the story was of number 11, and that's the story number 11 should have been, was that Amy Pond and the Doctor fell in love, and that was that. And maybe they could have done another split regeneration, sort of like they did with the Hand, and had her go off with that Doctor, and then the other Doctor carry on. Now the Hand Doctor, here's the interesting one. Here's my theory. The Doctor we have is the Hand Doctor. So the Doctor we've been following since David Tennant's time has been the Hand Doctor. And the Doctor that went into the boot and fried his ass and got rid of all the rest of his regenerations was the Doctor that ended up with Rose. So that was one of my theories I was working on. So I think that's one of the theories. Um, so yeah, they're interesting stuff. The I'd like to write for Doctor Who. Actually, I'd really like to write for Doctor Who. I have scripts on it. I have my own bent on it. Oh, cool! Look at that. That's really cool. See my way my watch is doing that. That's really weird. Oh, that's bizarre. How does that work? Yeah, look at that. That is fucking weird. I wonder what causes that. That is weird. It's the reflection off my watch, but the reflection, it's like a lightsaber. It's actually in the air, and my fingers are doing it too. I wonder what's causing that now. It must be a camera artifact, or maybe there's a lot of dust in the air, and from your angle, I can see it or something. That's really cool. I wonder what is causing that. Ghost lights, you could call it. There's a conspiracy theory. Um, it's yeah. Look, look at my watch saber. Like Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman saber. I never got why they didn't make lightsaber armor, so just have like rings at different points connected up to each other via lightsaber. So when you go, it could only hit the saber part. Actually, I just made that up on the spot, so I don't know I did that. One more minute, hop off this channel. So anti-space and uncle space. So anti-space is a space that prevents two it would probably be inside two places. So it'd be inside two places, and it would prevent movement from one place to the other by being in both places at the same time. Or maybe just be in a place, and if you moved to that place, um, if you moved to the place, it wouldn't work unless you moved to the place from the right spot. So that's anti-space for you. So thanks for watching, and throw up. I'm going to say, because I have zero audience at the moment, so I'm going to say, hey audience, throw up a like or subscribe, because nobody's watching.